Like I said in my previous videos, all you have to do is decode these stories in the Bible, in the Old Testament. You have to figure out who is playing who and what means what. So in this story, Joseph is a type and shadow of Jesus, and he's going to be revealing himself in many ways to his brethren. Here we go. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. That's 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. He descends from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph, doth my father yet live? So as you can see, Jesus is revealing himself to us now. And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near me, I pray you. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. As you can see, 2 years into the famine here. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. See that? 2 years in. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. That is Colossians chapter 2. Think of it on a bigger spectrum. Not just Egypt, but the whole world hath God made Jesus Lord over all. That's Colossians. Haste ye, and go up to my father. There it is. And say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph. The son is Joseph. Remember, Jesus is the son. God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. That is a picture of the rapture 2 years in. And that is why the 2024 annual eclipse on the Feast of Trumpets is so important to me, because that is right around 2 years in to this last 7-year Shemitah that we have already started. And if you haven't seen my last video, you got to go watch it. The title of it is called Gematria Calculator Points to the Date of the Rapture. And it's all about that. And you won't believe what you'll see. Remember, in these Old Testament stories, they're all showing us the future. This is one of the ways that God declares the end from the beginning. In a mystery, in a type, in a shadow, in a pattern, and a mystery. Proverbs chapter 25 verse 2 says, It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it is the honor of kings to search out a matter. Well, where does he conceal these things? He conceals them in the Old Testament, and he reveals them in the New Testament. The Old Testament is the physical. The New Testament is teaching you about the spiritual. So you take the spiritual and you look into the Old Testament, the physical, and search it out. Another number pattern that you can see here is we are in Genesis chapter 45. 20 plus 25 is 45.